Welcome to our Rolemaster actual play session. Ain't No Place for a Hero is a campaign set in the world of Duranarki, the continent of men. A gritty, cutthroat world where politics, sorcery, religion, and commerce are all intertwined and reign supreme. Treachery and murder both come cheap, and characters need to be both smart and ruthless to survive. We hope you enjoy our story, and, as always, may the dice roll in your favor.
This is episode 115 of Ain't No Place for a Hero. The two parties have parted company for a third time, with both groups now embarking on their own urgent and perilous quests. We pick up the story for our heroes as their companions in the Twilight party sail out of Landaina's dismal harbour, leaving them to determine what to do and where to go next in the earthquake-struck city. Hello, I'm Chris, otherwise known as GM Chance, and as the words say on screen, welcome to our story. And that story is Ain't No Place for a Hero. And there they are, up on screen. The 7 characters that will delight us, enthrall us, tantalize us, amaze us with their actions and their exploits this evening. In a minute or so, I'm going to hand over to the players of those characters to introduce their characters this evening. And then a little bit later on after that, I'm going to ask each person to answer either a character development question about their character or share an image about their character's background. Before I do, my very usual, my regular thanks, my shout-outs to viewers, people who have signed up to our channel and who are enjoying our story. And a couple of, well, actually 3 people again tonight I'd just like to acknowledge. Stefan is a viewer from Quebec, a French-Canadian person. We've swapped a few messages, and hopefully we'll be speaking on Discord sometime soon. And also welcome on board to 2 new viewers, both Gustav and Stephen K. Good to have you both aboard. So just thank you to all of the people who watch our channel, who provide some great feedback, some thoughts, suggestions, and just general encouragement about this, our hobby. As always, if you've stumbled across this perhaps for the first time, or maybe you've watched 1 or 2 of these and you like what you see, we'd really love a like, or even better, a subscribe down below. It really does help the channel grow. Thanks very much. Okay, as mentioned before, we are now going to hear from the players of the characters to introduce their characters to us. I've done a wee rejig of the pre-recording video, and we're starting off tonight. Graham, take it away.
Kia ora, I'm Mason, and for this episode I'm playing Demos. He's a very attractive, very hunky, very buff mixed man. Really great with his spear and shield, and he can whip out some swords if he needs to. He's not the most intelligent person, but he makes up for it with a lot of kindness, a lot of gentleness, except for when he's fighting. And he's been with the party for a little while, has thoroughly enjoyed his time with them, is very much looking forward to saving the world. And on the side, he is looking and hoping to find his long-lost sister that was kidnapped a long time ago.
Hi, I'm Pete, and in this episode I'll be playing Leif. Leif is a half-elf warrior mage, which means he uses weapons as well as magic. He's a friendly fellow very empathetic and a really kind member of the party.
Kia ora, I'm Alex, and for this episode I'm playing Keros. Keros is a young North woman. She's a weather mage, a pretty powerful weather mage with some very cool spells. She's quite sweet and kind, a bit emotionally labile, but wears a heart on her sleeve and a strong moral compass. She also has a companion, a cat called Victory, who's a very important member of the party, and Victory was rescued, there's Victory, a wee while ago from impending doom.
Hi, my name's Giles, and for this episode I'm playing Tarquin. So Tarquin is a young, ridiculously good-looking half-elf. During his early life and adolescence, he's been well-trained in the gentle arts of thievery, charming others using his remarkably good looks, and of course, violence. He is in his own way a religious man, and he's out looking for some understanding as to what's happened to his homelands.
Hi, I'm Graham. I play Nyathonal Sherakir. She is a Magent, which is a mix of stealthy skills, fighting skills, and magic skills, mentalism, magic of the mind. She is a complex character, something of a religious fundamentalist who believes in assassination as a sacred endeavour. She keeps that well hidden, however. She is a dab hand with a short sword, and uses her magic and sneaky ability to good use in sneaking up on her adversaries.
Hi, I'm Aidan and I'm playing Grey. Grey is a very handsome half-elf who doesn't really believe in wearing shirts. He's constantly just displaying his body all the time, which, he's got it, so he's flaunting it. He's got a bit of a tragic backstory. Pretty much everyone he's ever really cared about has been murdered brutally, but despite that, he's still a lovely, lovely guy. He's very caring, cares a lot about his teammates and also animals, loves animals, as he is a beastmaster, so he has the power to kind of, I don't know, not control, well, he can control animals, but he can also kind of interact with them and understand them and get them to help him do what he needs to do. And when he's not using his magic, he is a bit of a dab hand with an axe. He is very good at chopping things, chopping enemies, and also good with a little bit of stabby and a crossbow as well. He has a bird called Wingy that is his best friend that needs to have a bit more of a story, I guess. She'll come into it a bit more down the road, I think. Yeah, that's great.
Kia ora, I'm Pete and I'll be playing Mithan in this episode. Mithan is a ranger. She's a high man. She's pretty good at outdoor skills and she's a pretty good archer. She's not a people person. She doesn't really care about people's feelings, although she's beginning to in this party.
Hello, I'm Graham. I play Etienne Gilderflower. He is a genitrist, which is a type of paladin or holy warrior. He follows the teachings of Aphrodite, the goddess of love, and he believes that her will leads him on, and he makes decisions based on the dreams he receives or thinks he receives from his goddess. He has joined the party on the mission to, as he understands it, to save the old order, the world as they know it. He is a very charming, very good-looking man, a very eccentric man, speaks in riddles and rhymes most of the time, but he believes in a higher purpose. He's a very dab hand with a sword, usually found in full plate.
And there we go. So hopefully those faces up on screen make a little bit more sense to you now. As mentioned a little bit earlier, I sent out a character development question a bit earlier in the week. The idea of these questions and the request for images, if people want to share an image about their character, is just to get to know these faces up on screen a bit better. To allow them to be a bit more lived in, I guess you'd say. These questions could be anything. Anything about their backgrounds or their likes or their dislikes or whatever. And tonight, we are going to kick it off with Aidan, and we're particularly delighted to kick it off with Aidan because Aidan, who was previously in our other game, Twilight of the Old Order, his character Grey has decided for various reasons to move to this game. So Aidan, for the first time ever in a hero game, take it away, please.
Woohoo! Thank you. Happy to be here. Grey's also very excited about the road ahead. And on the road ahead, I'll answer the first question for him, which is considering his new party members, who does he trust the most and why? Well, he doesn't really know all of them that well, but he has gone through a different dimension with these guys, so he knows them fairly well. And I think, aside from Keros, who is currently dead, the person that he would probably trust the most would be Demos. I think because Demos is another strong, silent, gruff kind of guy, also has fantastic legs, and I think he just kind of vibed quite well with them when they were in the in-between. And yeah, I think he remembers that, and he feels like Demos is a man of good character.
Okay.
And if he was a cocktail, he would be a pina colada, I think.
Excellent.
Something a little bit fruity.
A bit fruity. Love it.
Yeah,
excellent.
Surprising.
Very good. Who would you like to hear from, please?
I'd love to hear from Jones. Paquin.
Oh, thank you very much, Grey. Pina colada, interesting choice. So I'm going to talk about my character, Tarquin's greatest aspirational dream. Before I do that, I think if I think about Tarquin from a cocktail perspective, he's definitely a Long Island iced tea. Looks relatively harmless. You want to drink him, you're 3 in, and before you know it, you realise you've been punched really hard.
Oh, I can relate.
I think his presence and his good look probably help him with that. But the question that Tarquin's going to answer in a very Long Island iced tea kind of a way is, what's your character's greatest aspirational dream? And I think that for a very young elf who knows his life is long is to kind of find a sense of purpose or understanding, possibly as has been suggested, and I think the party would know he's very new to the party, but is obviously a little conflicted in what he does, some of which might be construed as a little aggressive, and some of which might be construed as a little passive. So I think Tarquin's greatest aspiration is to kind of understand himself and his way forward, and I think he's probably prepared to sacrifice almost anything to get there. And with that, I'd like to pass it on to Pete and Pete's characters.
Thank you very much. Cool. I'll be answering the question for Leif. Same question. What is your character's greatest aspirational dream, and what lengths would they go to achieve it? Are there any sacrifices they would be unwilling to make? So for Leif, I'll just talk about 2 aspirations, actually. The first one is, I think he's talked about it, well, both, probably, but his desire to learn wish magic, which is a particular little brand of magic that sort of captivated him when he was a younger person. And the through rumor or investigation or whatever means, he's sort of learned that perhaps he's going to be able to find a book about that in Tarak Nev. So he's keen to do that, to find it, and I suppose that's one length he would be willing to go to learn this magic, to go to a haunted city of the dead. But he would, well, it's not something he wouldn't do to achieve this. He would just never betray his friends. He would never put his party above his own aspirations. Second aspiration he's got is to meet his mother, of course. He's held that aspiration all his life. And again, as luck would have it, he's sort of found more information from the Twilight party that she lives on the Isle of Ball, and they have actually met her, so he's very keen to go there. But again, he would not put perhaps even the mission of this party above that wish. But certainly, once he's free for his own, at his own devices, he would be off to the island of Wall to meet his mother. I haven't actually prepared what cocktail he would be. I hadn't thought in terms of cocktails. Perhaps Long Island iced tea as well for him, I guess. When he hits you with his hands, it's as if you've been hit by a mace. So I think that's a fair call. And for Mithan, who is played by Keros, or by Alex tonight, so thanks, Alex, but I would just answer the question for her. Considering your party members, who do you trust the most and why? Conversely, who do you trust the least and what would they need to do to earn your trust? She does not trust Tarquin. He is very new to the party and he is very charming. And which is a bit, and Mithan's a bit conflicted because of course he's charming and so she does like him. When he rolls a charm roll, she is charmed. But it has sort of stubbornness to being charmed. She doesn't want to be. But also he is, I believe, Elven, or at least half Elven, which means he's actually a nice person and she wants to get to know him. So she's a bit conflicted. But at the moment she doesn't know him and she doesn't trust him. So time will help cure that, I hope. Who does she trust the most? Probably... it would be even between Demos, Leif, and Keros, because she spent the most time with him.
Excellent.
And a bit Neanderthal as well. And talking of Neanderthal...
And a cocktail?
Oh, and a cocktail for her. I was thinking a mint julep, I believe. I think it's because it always felt it had a bit of a dirty taste to me, so perhaps a little bit, I don't know, natural. She's in touch with nature.
Okay.
I don't know if you know what I mean by the dirty taste. The mint sort of makes it a little bit like, that would be with that, perhaps. Or perhaps anything with bitters in it, I think would be appropriate. Okay. Can we please hear from Neanderthal?
Cool.
She's sleeping, so I have to make do with me. The Athanol question. Well, it's a bit of an awkward one, actually, because this is... I want to answer the difficulties that we've been having, a recent sort of episode that's caused some strife. Now I'm just trying to find the exact wording of the question, but bear with me. A recent disagreement or conflict within the party. Now, she's out cold, but the last thing she remembers before she went out cold was planning an attack that the party were all going to get together and do an attack, and then several members of the party then actually exited the battlefield, which she was absolutely livid about, because actually she was preparing to jump through over a barricade and put herself in mortal danger and saw two of our number walk off. So yeah, obviously she's been out since then, but when she comes back to, I think she's probably going to have a few questions for Gray and I believe who was the other one? It was
Askell.
Was it Askell? I think it was it Askell? Who was the other one?
Oh no, it was Demos.
Demos, that was it. Yeah. So yeah, it might be a bit of an awkward conversation.
Askell was unconscious as well. I'd forgotten. Yes,
that's right. Yeah. Awkward now. Yeah, they obviously weren't feeling themselves, but yeah, that was a bit of awkwardness. She couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. But anyway, then she got hit on the head and she's now unconscious. So don't know. Worry about that right now. However, her favourite cocktail is Le Fleur de Mal cocktail, the Flowers of Evil. Which is a blend rose vodka and absinthe with lemon juice and egg white. So, just so you know. Meanwhile, Etienne. Character's greatest fear. I think probably ultimately incarceration, slavery, living under an oppressive regime, which is everything he rails against. And ultimately, I suppose, destruction of the old order, which is why we're all here.
Why we're all here.
So that's what will worry him. In terms of a cocktail, holy water. I think would be his preferred, which is Hamilton Jamaican gold rum, steeped in golden raisins, orange peels, vanilla beans, cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, and other spices, shaking with a mezcal rouge, cognac, lemon, lime, and grapefruit juices with a float of Angostura bitters on top. So there you go.
Damn it, I'm thirsty. Nice. Thank you, Graham. There is one person left. Mason, it's been a while. Take it away.
Hello. So for Demos, considering your party members, who do you trust the most and why? He, in the context of the party, he would trust Masan with his life, purely because he trusts her judgment, and like he knows that she will do everything in her power to kind of protect herself, but also to protect the party, and he really respects that, and it's really nice for him having kind of someone else who has his back, because he's always kind of grown up, having to protect others or protect himself. So it's nice. He trusts the fact that Masan would also kind of come to his rescue, I guess, if he needed it. And then conversely, who do you trust the least, and what would they need to do to earn your trust? I mean, at the moment, he doesn't overly trust Tarquin yet. I think that'll come with time, though. It'll probably come in the midst of a battle, fight of some kind. If Tarquin's fighting side by side, I think Demos's trust will grow quite substantially for Tarquin.
Okay.
And in terms of a cocktail, I think Demos would be... I mean, these cocktails I drink called Tequila Bite, which is quite sweet, but it really packs a punch. Which I think sums up Demos beautifully.
Excellent. It does. He is sweet, and my goodness, he does pack a punch. He definitely does pack a punch. Excellent. And Mason, delighted to have you back. Fantastic. Wonderful. So, gentle viewer, gentle listener. I should also say, Pete, you kindly mentioned that Alex is filling in for M.E.R.P this evening. Alex, did you want to say hello to our viewers and to our listeners?
Kia ora, yes, I'm very lucky to play M.E.R.P, and obviously we got it by Pete because Keros is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice one. Thank you. There we go. Gentle viewer, gentle listener. That is the team. Those the characters up on screen. There are their names. So it's been 2 weeks since we last played, and generally if we've had a reasonably long break like that, rather than calling on Pete to provide a summary of what happened last time, the GM is going to do so. So I'm going to attempt to blast through this. I'm hoping in relatively short order, but let's see. I always say this and often end up taking too long, but let's see what happens. So, quick summary from me. We'll go to this screen. Actually, no, we'll go to this screen, the widescreen. So, your characters are in the very dismal swamp city of Landaina. It is Air Day, the 5th of Year's End. In a few short weeks, it will be Year's End, and a new year will dawn. Year's End Day, as mentioned, by the way, is a particularly unpleasant day in the calendar of this world, just as a heads up. Yesterday, you arrived in Landaina, and through a number of interactions with a number of different healers and priestesses, and going to one temple in particular, the Temple of Hera Akraya, you managed, after coming on 2 and a bit days of Keros being slain, to get Keros's body completely preserved. Keros, you've been told, will now be untouched by time and age for 30 weeks. There was some rot to Keros's body, and we've talked about that in the previous episode. Some of that damage was able to be repaired, some of it wasn't. You were told that day, yesterday, that the day following, the day that we're in now, your companions in the Twilight of the Old Order Party, arrangements had been made for them to head off, and they would be leaving you today, and that's in fact exactly what's happened. You went to sleep on the boat last night. This morning, again, it's raining. You can hear the sound of rain. Number of your companions, notably Grey, Tarquin, and Nicholas, went out into the city and the city of Landaina, and approached again some different healers. First, the blind octopus and the rather stuffy and unpleasant healer running the blind octopus apothecary, and then to several others. Most notably, this woman here, High Priestess High Priestess Lynn, who is the main priest at the Diode Temple, a Silver Lotus Temple. She seemed to take a shine to you, particularly Tarquin, and after some conversation with those three characters and a good charm roll by Tarquin, she shared some information to say, unfortunately, there doesn't appear to be a seniority of clerics here in Landaina that can assist Keros with boosting her, in mechanical terms, boosting her statistics. The High Priestess would have phrased it more appropriately, basically talking about bringing her life, her very essence, her strength, her heart, all the rest of it, back to full health. But in mechanical terms, that's what you learned. You did discover there was a herb that potentially could assist with Keros's recovery, and you went to yet another apothecary, this time run by Master Eric, and he actually had the required clove it was in stock, but there were some very nasty side effects, and you decided to forego that, and you returned back to the boat. This ship here, the ship with no name, which is being crewed in Landaina harbour. On the way back to the boat, a rather interesting incident happened. Namely, a short but reasonably violent earthquake struck Landaina. And whilst coming back to the ship, a set of scaffolding on a nearby building came down and rained bricks down on both Grey, Tarquin, and Nicholas. The three characters were largely unscathed, but copped some minor bits of brick coming off them. They were very lucky, actually. And they made it back to the ship. What had actually happened earlier that morning, and I should have said before I described their antics in the city, was Demos, our doughty spearman, was up on deck gazing out to sea, and all of a sudden he recognised a face in a passing ship, and that face was indeed his long-lost sister, taken into, he believes, slavery some many, many years ago, and he's been searching for her all this time. He didn't get he wasn't able to shout at his sister. He saw her, she didn't see him, and because of noise and the fact that the ship was heading out of the port. This was before the earthquake, by the way, very first thing. He did note a rather peculiar sign on both the sails and also painted on the bow. This was the sign that Demos noted. And then, while the three characters were out investigating healers, etc., a conversation was had, firstly with your host. You still haven't found out his name. He hasn't given his name, but he was able to introduce you or reintroduce you to one of his crew members, Gillian, who provided a little bit more information about that sign on the sail of the ship that Demos saw, and a little bit about the ship itself. And we'll come to that perhaps a little bit in game. Last thing to note, the Twilight party then arrived back on board the ship, and at pretty much exactly on midday, your host came to the cabin that you'd all been sharing, a room. You've only been here for a few days together, but a room that you've come to know very well in the main cabin of the ship. And this gentleman escorted the Twilight members, after saying their very, very fond and perhaps tearful farewells to you, with the exception of Grey, who has stayed, overboard onto a small boat, who is crewed by this man. And the last you see of your companions from the Twilight party is them indeed sailing out of Landaina's harbour, out to the open sea. And that, unless there are any clarifications, is where we're going to start the game. Are there any questions, any comments, anything people want to know, anything that's not clear? Now's the chance to ask a question, guys. Okay, going once, going twice. Let's start the game. So that is indeed exactly where we begin. You can see the little craft with your companions heading out to sea. You can definitely hear in the background the distance and sometimes not so distant sounds of screams and cries. And every now and then the sound of stuff breaking. You all definitely felt the quake, no doubt about it, but you were all on board the ship, so you were unaffected. Looking out around you, there definitely have been a number of buildings that have come down. No one's crying out for help, or people appear to be helped, but certainly further off into the city, there's the sign of smoke, and you can see some flames in other parts of the city as well, even in the rain. The city certainly hasn't been leveled, but it's certainly been affected. You have been told by your friend, by the way, I meant to add, that someone this evening, well, late afternoon, evening, will collect you and take you on to a safe house, because he and his ship needs to depart Landaina. What do you do?
So the ship's got to go somewhere?
He's got to go somewhere, and he had said to you last episode that he'll be handing you off to a safe house for someone to look after you.
Ah, okay. Because we were hoping to bugger off somewhere, weren't we?
Yeah, but I think the plan would be to use a navigator column.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's probably sooner rather than later. That I suppose the only thing is, what are we going to do with Neathanol? Or do just...
So I guess Tarquin would suggest he's pretty keen to go back to the temple, He probably disguised himself. Everyone here would now know he can look like someone else because he's done it a few times. And he'd be pretty keen to go there with, well, so Demos maybe, who seemed to have got along well with anyone, didn't cause any enemies, and take the ethanol to try and get some diagnostics to figure out what's going on. I think this was super important. And to cure the problem.
Yeah, that would be great.
Darkwing has his own reasons for wanting to go, but that's why he'd be telling people.
Darkwing, obviously, the only one who is 100% safe to be seen out of the hero party. That's the only thing. Probably, you know, there's always a chance that one of us will be recognised. That's the trouble. So if you were to take someone else with you, it might be wise to, for that person to be someone who can disguise themselves fully as well.
Right, and I guess we'd want to repeat the carpet trick or something similar to hide the ethanol completely.
Yeah, and if we're going to move to a safe house, we'd probably want to do it in darkness.
Except the temple seems to be only open during the day, but yep.
Oh, no, I mean moving everyone. I mean to a safe house. Yeah.
That's probably why they're coming tonight.
Yeah. So are we going to move out to a safe house and then depart? Is that the plan? Or those that are departing?
I think so. I'm unclear about what gives us access to navigator columns. Chris, is it the medallion?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, with the arrangement with Monmin or with Jack and how we got contact and transport from them. So transport was navigators or perhaps more pedestrian transport. But our access to navigators was the medallion or the token. Is that correct?
No, what he had told you was your access to onward travel is through your guide, through your host. Typically takes typically up to 7 days. It can be less, it can be more. He was able to arrange transport on for you both actually within a very short period of time. But it is through your hosts who arrange either pedestrian, mundane travel, a ship, a boat, a cart to your next destination, or navigator's columns. But that takes time to arrange. The one thing he did give you was if you ever fall into a situation where you lose contact with your host, or there is a problem, or you suspect your host has betrayed you, doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. You can take this particular coin, which he has given you, and inserting a very, 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 very fine piece of metal, a pin or something, a very, very small tack, can go into where it says 29, and that by inserting that red changes colour, and by showing that particular change of colour to a navigator is enough to then reacquaint you with the network. The other thing that your host said to you was, and I didn't make this explicitly clear before, but your hosts in a particular location are there to advise, they're there to provide guides and instruction and as much local information as they possibly can. That's absolutely their job. They're there to help you understand the local environment but critically get from point A to point B, and ideally from point A to point B as appropriately and as you know, at a speed that you need to. You're not to pay them, so they have been already paid up front. They get a monthly stipend that just doesn't magically appear. They go to a place and they collect it, so they earn their money. So you're not to pay them, but the other thing you're not to do is to put them in any kind of jeopardy of themselves. So they are quite happy to arrange transport and guidance and all the rest, kind of with no questions asked. There's a good chance they may not know who you are. They might know who you are, but they may not know who you are. They probably don't want to know who you are. Any of your activities should not risk your host. He was explicit about that.
So if can we think of a city? We need to talk to our host, obviously, about where we can get to and how quickly, and they may have some contacts that are more. They might be able to arrange contacts some quicker than others, depending on where we're going. But I guess if we're looking for a city in the north that's not Roldanic, that is well known to one of more of our characters, right?
I reckon. Yep.
Which one do you think?
So it needs to be big enough so that we're going to have a good. So this is somewhere we can go that we can get Kyros' heart and lungs healed.
Yeah.
And someone to then relife her, and then perhaps to use the stat gain spell or to buy the crystal, which does the same sort of thing. So, but at least heart and lungs restored. We might want to do the relifing and the stat. I believe that the Adeline or whatever, the High Priestess, has agreed with Tarquin that indicated to Tarquin she can do the stat gain spell. So perhaps we want to come back to Landaina, because we're going to come back to anyway. That's where our contact is, or perhaps our next stepping off point to get to Tarek. Yeah. But so somewhere big enough to be able to have a good selection of healers that we're sort of going to be able to. Yeah. I don't think Jibay Unarden. I think we're sort of known there, maybe.
Where was that?
Well, I don't know. That Jibay Unarden is where Leif is from, but actually, did we start there? No, we didn't. We started. No. What about Jibay Mabeth?
Cropelan.
Sorry, we started in Cropelan. Yeah, true.
Could be Jibay. Yeah. I mean,
go to Leif's town. Is Jibay Unarden?
Well, that sounds all right. Is he any reason to be not welcome there?
No.
Well, that might be it. And that doesn't have a. Does that have a big Roldanic kind of community? I mean, it's a long way away, but nonetheless.
It's a free city, and it's also, but it's a very near Roldanic kingdom.
Right.
It is. The principal faith is Roldanic. Yep.
Yeah. Ideally, we'd be going somewhere there wasn't.
Mithan and I believe Kyros are from a small town in Maralan, I think it's called. It's So I don't think Mithan can help out. With anyone else? They're a city of origin or a city they know of?
Trying to remember where we've been.
Well, possibly somewhere we haven't been would be good. What's the capital? What's Onaham like, Chris?
What's what, sorry?
Onaham, Kingdom of Stekan.
What's that?
Don't know. That's where Etienne comes from.
Oh.
It's a pretty nondescript place in the mercenary lands, so a bit of a geography lesson if people would benefit from this. You'll see that. So the hero party started in the North Sea. You started in a little place called Cropelan. You were down in the Sea of Katana, down here. Twilight started over here, by the way. This is Van Dolchen land here, which is the land of the mercenaries, and that is where Etienne is from. It's a whole patchwork of petty states, would be the best description. Small states. They're called the land of the mercenaries for a reason. Generally, people with high ambitions and high thoughts of themselves will get sick and tired of leading a group of mercenaries for one king or another and head down to this place and with a sword carve out their own kingdom. And there are regularly wars there. They've almost got to a stage now where there are, however, almost like rules of engagement, because people are sick and tired of living in kingdoms which are constantly gutted and plagued by conflict. So often there are wars that are held in battles that are held in almost like designated places sometimes. But it's kind of a fractured, relatively backwards kind of area, certainly a relatively, can be at times violent area. There are, of course, the great powers, the Kingdom of Thrace, the Confederation of the Sun Kush, the Empire of Thumazal, and other large powers that will have colonies dotted in and around there. But yeah, Etienne is from that region.
So, what about anyone else? We've got some cities. What we're looking for is a big city away from the Roldenic kingdoms. Anybody?
Eros is from a small town, Cathmere, in Turon, Kingdom of Turon. It's super small.
Yeah.
So
Same place as Mippen.
Oh, really? Snap.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Better not be related.
Oh.
You never know.
Anyone else?
Tarquin met Etienne in the free city of Jebai Balom. I don't know how big that city is, Chris, or if it's Roldenic, but that's relatively close to us and in this funny little spot between these two blue ridges down at the Katana.
Yeah, it's here.
Definitely don't want to go there.
Okay.
So you guys are in Landaina. Jebai Bablom is there. Which one was your Etienne's kingdom, please, Graham?
Etienne comes from, except he's not going to want to go home.
No, Etienne, not Tarquin. Etienne.
Deacon.
Oh, Deacon.
Deacon, I think it was, or unless I have that down wrong.
Yes.
Steacan.
It'll be somewhere here. I can't see it for looking.
All right. Anyway, it's probably a bit too close. Anyone else?
The Kingdom of Thrace?
Nope.
Or Kingdom of Tama?
That's where Severin's from.
Ah, his name is great.
But that's quite Roldenic up there, isn't it?
Yes, but increasingly both. Yeah, but also old gods as well. Let me show you. Also,
would it be easier to say where isn't Roldenic?
also a lot of old gods.
Yeah.
So the thing is with the Roldenic faith, it's kind of spreading. The old gods is the predominant one, but Roldan being the son of the king of the gods, has kind of wormed his way into a lot of places. You're finding the other major kingdom in the north in Tama is the red god, he of the axe, worshipped by northern barbarians. The red god, he of the axe, the bloody father, etc.
So in terms of the bits of the world that aren't Roldenic, what are we looking at? What about that bit bottom right?
Because I was wondering if because to get to any of these places, we'll need to have our host in Landaina have set up a host there for us to use navigator column and to have arranged that travel. Why can we not use our host there to speak on our behalf and to sort of be our local contact? Is that out of their purview?
What I said before. So, base your
so
thoughts.
we wouldn't be putting them in any danger. We can just go and ask them. They can be our guide. We tag along, to ask whatever. So long as they can speak our language, they can speak for us, I reckon. And we just answer, we're there to answer questions and be guided by them. So I reckon perhaps that south, so long as, to answer to Graham's question, so long as we're not too Thracia down there, or Dennick. That'd be the case.
So places that aren't Roldenic, the Kingdom of Thrace, the national religion is Roldenic. The Confederation of the Sun, Kush, believe in Dio and also kind of animist type faiths. The Empire of Thamazul believe in El Tumar. These places down south, the Thea of Thibron, a lot of these are kind of mixed between a whole bunch of different faiths. Mondanton is actually the site of currently the Crusades, where the Roldenic holy warriors are trying to take back the city of Roldan's birth, so that probably is not a place you'd like to go. The Kingdom of Celestine, the massive elven kingdom.
How about there? Do they have any Roldans?
You're not sure. You probably don't know much about it. You've heard of it. It's the stuff on this map, by the way, is obviously it's a very crude map, but it's meant to show in just very, very, very broad terms what your characters would kind of know about the world-ish.
New Zealand's part of Europe, sort of.
Exactly.
I reckon we go for the Elven, unless anyone else is. Well, Mithan is extremely keen to go for the Elven. Oh, sorry, I'm speaking out of turn, Alex, but I would just let you know that Mithan, she's got this thing about elves, so if we're, and I assume this is a discussion our characters are actually having below decks. But
yeah, I mean, well, that's not such a bad thing. I mean, we've got quite a lot of elves in our party, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can ask our host what if they're, what the make kind of dominant religions they're first, and then go from there, right?
Sounds good.
What do the rest do you think?
Yeah, Gray would be keen to go see his people.
And then if, while we wait for that to be arranged, if we can get it done in time, maybe would Gray be able to accompany Tarquin and take Yathanol?
Yep.
It's going to take like a week to arrange transport, right?
Well, we don't know until we ask, really.
Yeah. So we need to ask, yeah. So, I mean, however long it takes, we must have some time to get to Hera. And if Hera can't help us, we can go to Dio, and now we know where to bob around.
Don't forget Demos as well. Sorry, I interrupted someone there.
No, really good point. I just would say one more thing before we talk about Demos, I reckon, is I think the first thing we need to do is, even we talk with Jackin about this, or at least talk about our host here, we put our Landaina, our Taraknev, travelling from Landaina to Taraknev plans on hold in terms of their preparation, so we don't piss them off and they don't arrange everything and then we go, oh, we still want to be away for another week. I think we revisit that with our host or whoever. I think we need to send that message. That makes sense, when it's appropriate. Yeah, so what about with Demos?
I wasn't. Sorry, Dim. I was just going to say, because you weren't there last time, Mason. And I hope I played Demos as you wished.
You did beautifully.
Oh, you're so sweet. Whether he goes alone, which is questionable, or whether we accompany him, and yeah, I think we definitely need to talk about that.
For Demos, I think for now his number one concern is making sure Kyros. So he's happy to continue on with the party. Now that he's kind of got a better idea of where his sister is, he feels for now, his main concern is making sure that Kyros is back up and
kicking. So he wants to stick with the party for the time being, at least, to make sure that we get Kyros back on her feet, and then he'll kind of see how everything plays out and how we go.
And I think too, now that Gray, I feel like Gray is kind of sticking by Kyros as well. That must be some relief for Demos. I mean, that's an assumption on my part. They're sort
He
of
knows
shared.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Demos. I mean, if Demos is to go off on do a solo trip, he knows that Kyros will be in very good hands. Literally, figuratively.
We just group hug this out right now. I mean, I know technically I'm dead, but that was just beautiful.
It's fitting, yes.
Oh, you're playing Mithan. Maybe she could start the group hug.
Mithan does not want to start a group hug.
So, Chris, can we speak to our host?
Sure. Tell me what. Just.
Well, basically,
tell me what you do.
Well, anyone else jump in if I got this wrong, but basically have a chat with him, explain the situation with Kyros, that we've been unable to arrange the healing here, and so we would like to go somewhere else to get that before we leave, and we were wanting to go somewhere away from Roldanic people, and we're thinking about that Elven Kingdom. Could he set something up quite quick that we could go there, get some healing, and then come back? If not there, did he have any other ideas? And while we wait, in the meantime, we might want to take Yathra somewhere. Does that summarise everything?
Yeah. Very succinct.
Okay.
That then.
Okay. So you head up on deck. Sorry, someone heads up on deck. I'm assuming Tarquin. And Tarquin, you find your host looking, along with a number of his companions, some of the sailors, kind of looking interestingly at the shore. There's been quite a bit of screaming, quite a lot of breaking noises, and it takes Tarquin a minute or so to catch his attention. And your friend turns around. He's not smiling on this occasion. Yes, how can I help? He says to Tarquin.
So I think Tarquin would turn to him and just check out everything's okay, and ask if we can ask a little about where we're going and how that might look.
Sorry, who's going?
Where we the party, you're leaving the ship with your ship.
Yes,
we're
we are.
Getting off with your,
soon,
we're
I hope.
Getting off with your host.
Yeah, the host should be here soon, he says.
I'm going to relay, just check that everything's okay. He looks distracted.
Yeah, no, things are fine.
Okay, he's going to ask him, essentially, he's going to relay some of the discussion we've just had about places, peoples, and things, and check out if he thinks the host is going to be able to help us with that.
Yeah, he's kind of snaps back into. No, she'll be fine. She's highly competent. Sorry, just checking out what's going on over there. No, it looks like things are fine. Yeah, look, she'll be here. She said she'll come here at dusk. I've I haven't told her a lot about you, but she is a sensitive and careful individual, and she will handle you and your friends and their rather delicate situation accordingly. We use her very regularly. She'll be here at dusk.
Yeah, so I think Tarquin would want to make would use his perception to see if he could try and work out what he's so distracted about, and would also ask him. I mean, he's obviously paused, he's looking somewhere. I'd want to try and see if this is just the general melee post-earthquake or if it's a particular thing.
Yeah, sure. Give me a perception roll, please.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his bonus?
Oh, sorry. It's 90.
90. Cool. I mean, you can't be sure, but it looks like he's yeah, it was just kind of when you were speaking, just as you came up, there looked like some kind of fight had broken out reasonably close to the docks. It now looks, in the time you've actually been speaking to him, it seems to have calmed down. People are kind of digging people out of the rubble. I mean, you know, and there is some normal life happening. There's somebody trying to sell somebody melons and things like that, but he was interested in watching that.
And so I think Tarquin would ask him, do you have any concerns about the fight? Is there anything we should know about here?
No, don't think so. Just, I don't know, I'm just always cautious, yeah? It's just always good. Bearing in mind what I do, and also, and he kind of, and you almost feel like his attention kind of snaps back to Tarquin and kind of smiles again. And, you know, who I am, what I do, and, you know, who my friends are. Friends like you, Tarquin. Friends like you. Oh, look, things are fine for tonight. Things are fine. She'll be here soon. Myrna is her name. Well, you can call her Myrna. You can call her whatever you like, but you can call her Myrna. She's very good, and she'll be here at dusk. She'll look after you.
I'm going to do some quick thinking in my head. Have I forgotten anything, guys?
How did he respond to the change of plan?
I'm going to check it. Well, he seems to be fine with the change of plan.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get a change of... What did you say about a change of plan?
Pete?
Oh no, Tarquin, what did you say?
I'm going to do some internal thinking here to recall the conversation. I'm struggling to put this all together in my own head, Chris. So I'm going to try and recall this conversation. I want to get it right. So either Pete or someone can help me here. I just want to make sure I recall this absolutely correctly.
I thought it was you who said that before, or was it you, Graham, who said it before?
Yeah, I basically outlined what we were going to say, Chris. Yeah, about the Elven Kingdom and
so I want to make sure he knows we're happy to get off the ship and that we're going to be heading off to this kingdom in places unclear, and that his host will know this and be able to guide us to this. And this is somewhat of a change from what we talked about when we left Jewel Island.
Whatever your next travel plans are, my job is to pass you to Myrna. I will pass you to Myrna. What you decide to do, whether you change your plans, whether you keep your plans, it is entirely up to you. You fired your signal flare seconds. You have the incredible benefit of reliable and safe places in not every city in this good, clean world, but many of them. And you do not have to shell out a single copper piece for the privilege. So if your plans change, you're very, very welcome to do so. That is Myrna's role, to help you get from this place, which is her responsibility, to the next place.
And Myrna has both power and responsibility to enable us to do that.
I'm sorry?
She has the power to arrange that with the navigators.
She does. She has the power to arrange that.
And, you know, not run back down to the ship, but Tarquin will know that Etienne might have something to think about this. Is there something I've missed here?
It'd be good to get his opinion on the Elven Kingdom, whether or not he's arranging anything or not. Just some information about it would be great.
Right, so I'll ask him about the Elven Kingdom we're up to. Particularly, I'm going to ask him about his knowledge of it generally and whether he knows about the Roldenic influence there.
Never been myself. Their capital, Mystenia, different pronunciations. is the only that I'm aware of, is the only place that non-elven kind may go. They're highly secretive and highly guarded about their community, and they do not take kindly to others not of their kind coming to their kingdom. May take some extra time to arrange it. I'm sure we can, but it may take some extra time.
Do they welcome hard elves?
That I don't know. I know certainly non-elves are not welcome into the wider kingdom proper. As I say, to their capital city, begrudgingly they will sometimes allow others.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to ask: is the navigator column in the capital city?
I've got no idea. Don't know if they have one. I'm assuming they do. I'd be surprised if they didn't. I'm a Southern Seas man myself. Katana, Thibron, quite a lot of time in Vargas. Further north, not really. Too cold up there.
Parts of the real world, then. Parts of the real world.
Yeah, absolutely. I like you, Tarquin.
If you had to speculate, how safe do you think we are to try and travel there?
Oh, I think you're safe. I don't think you'll. I mean, I don't think anybody will necessarily kill you. It's whether or not they'll let you in. But I think we'll be able to. We generally can manage most places.
And he's good at. He'll turn on the charm at this point, and he wants to ask him with his charm at full force. What do you think our chances of finding what we need for our slain friend are?
When you say that, does that mean you need to tell me if you give me a roll? Is that a roll or not a roll? I don't know.
Yeah, so I want to. I want to use a charm roll. And
Yeah, give me a roll.
78.
78, sure. And a skill with charm?
96.
Yeah, I mean, your friends, your hosts, Smiles, the elves are gifted healers. They're known gifted healers. As good a place as any. She going to start smelling pretty soon? She was getting a bit whiffy the other night. I mean,
I'll smile and rub him around the shoulders and tell him not to worry about that stuff. We've charmed a couple of healers here. We just need to get her fixed up good.
Okay. Well, yeah, the elves should be able to help you as good as any place, I would say.
I guess I'll ask him if there's anything else we need to know about our possible port of destination.
No, really, those are questions for Myrna, I'm afraid.
Okay, I'll thank him and head back downstairs to check out with the team, and I'll report back what I've heard.
Cool. And right now, suddenly there was a groan and a moan from the corner, and Neathanel is beginning to sit up, rubbing her head and feeling just awful, but she is now awake.
Hooray!
Is this a trip into the hero?
What I missed?
Do we have someone with diagnostic skills? We need to see if she's okay. No unilateral weakness, speech okay. No, I want to do a full physical. Is there someone in our party who does diagnostics?
Probably Ross.
Neathanel, for your benefit, and sorry about art imitating life here, but Neathanel, you have a thumping headache, and your vision is just a bit blurry. You're at -15 to all actions. but you are at least awake and functional otherwise.
Ethan has diagnostics, if that's helpful, plus 25. Oh wait. Yeah, plus 25.
We want someone to take a look at her, don't we, to see how she's doing with diagnostics.
Yeah, good idea. Yep.
Can I do that?
Yeah, sure.
So it's plus 25. So that's 39 plus 25.
It's a master roll, of course. I mean, from what you can tell, she seems okay. She's got a massive lump on the back of, like a massive lump on the back of her head. You know, you don't need it to be any real medic to tell that. You can feel it. It's where the crossbow bolt hit her and where her helm saved her life, basically. But other than that, no, she, according to you, Mithan, she looks and seems okay.
Cool. Thanks, Mithan. And Leif would go to her, I think, and would help her sit up, help her orient, get her a cup of water or whatever. And when she would be ready, he would want to explain all that's happened. Yeah, just taking a read on, taking his cue from her about what she's ready for, basically. But yeah, would want to fill her in on all the details.
Tarquin would report back what Happy Santa has said about where they're planning on going, and checking out if that's, well, what the party think about that, and if there's other questions he wants to ask before they leave, which he understands will be soon.
Okay. Spend some time filling in the ethanol. The ethanol food and drink is provided for you. Very welcomed. Actually, after your time unconscious. Yeah, what else? What else do you do? Okay. Anything, by the way, from Gray? Any thoughts about seeing his friends, his other friends, heading off in the boat? His new friends now? Don't know. Any thoughts from Demos? How Demos is feeling, or just any other actions or thoughts, or?
Yeah, I mean, Gray is definitely a little bit shell-shocked, I think. He's not the most chatty guy. It probably took him a while to get used to his old friends, so he's a little bit nervous. But he, as I said before earlier, he has been to another dimension with these guys, so he's okay. He's not too worried.
Okay.
He's just sitting there chatting to Keros.
Okay. To Keros? Oh, okay. Yeah, got it. Cool.
Yeah.
And
stroking Wingy.
Cool. And anybody else? Anybody else do anything? Gone once. Gone twice. Okay. So, Nathanel, you stood up, and little bit by little bit, your vision is less blurry, and you kind of shake your head a bit, but you're still operating at a minus, but you're definitely feeling a bit better. Leif has filled you in with what's going on. Your head does really, it really does hurt. The rain's coming on outside. Sick and tired of the rain. It seems to be raining perpetually in this place. At about 3 o'clock, actually, there is a knock on the door, and your friend enters again. Hello, friends. Hello. And he looks up. Oh, Neathanel. You're awake! Oh, good. How are you feeling?
Pretty shit. Who are you?
I'm your host here. Your benefactor, if you will. Your friend.
Oh, well, thanks for the food.
You're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Good. So, friends, a slight change of plan. We just think it might be easier and better, actually, if Myrna comes sooner rather than later to collect you. There are a few crowds after the earthquake, not near us, fortunately. But some of the larrikin idiot types have taken this as an opportunity for smashing things and breaking things. And look, we just think it just might be safer and better to get you safely indoors to Myrna's safe house as soon as possible. So, bearing in mind, and I think with what's going on out there at the moment, I don't think anybody's going to be paying that much attention to you. But if you do have any way of concealing yourselves or perhaps making yourselves slightly less obvious, that might be useful. Assuming that's agreeable to you, Myrna will be here in an hour. Oh, stunned silence.
Etienne says, is there a way of transporting us so that we can remain out of sight? And is there any... will we pass through any places that have magical detection between here and there?
Second question, absolutely not. No, none. I have already had that conversation with Myrna. We have already thought about that. She will take you on quite a circuitous route, and in fact that's one of the reasons she's coming a little bit earlier, because it will take it will be a slightly complicated route to get you there. So she's coming a little bit earlier, we think, and also we just think it's probably wiser. So definitely 100% not any magical wards, at least that we're aware of. We're definitely avoiding that. In terms of concealment, I mean, I can probably find you some oilskins or some capes or cloaks or something if you don't have them here. I would like to think that the constabulary in this fair city is probably not the best at the best of times. And they seem to have their hands full with other matters at the moment as well. So, yes, we'll do our best to disguise you, but we do think it is better going now. Or soon.
Okay, so we'll gratefully accept any oilskins, as he puts it, since it rains all the time anyway. So Niathral can change her appearance. Etienne will obviously won't wear armour. We'll load all that up into his pack, and we'll gratefully take an oilskin and put the hood up. And generally wear something. Well, he normally wears his armour, so he'll wear something a bit shoddy, nothing too smart. And then Niathral will prepare just before they go, and will change her appearance.
Excellent. Head on the wrong. Okay. Anybody else doing anything I should be aware of?
Yep. Same for Leif. He'll also do his best to perhaps hunch a little bit. He's only 6'3" only. But yeah, when they're moving, when it comes to it, he'll try and just sort of change his gait, be less conspicuous in whatever way he can. But yeah, change of clothes, oilskin, and his pack as well.
Okay.
Gray's going to put on a shirt, cover up a bit.
Okay.
And he's going to talk to Wingy and tell her to kind of fly up ahead, above them, so that she doesn't look like she's with them necessarily.
Okay. He'll need to cast a spell for that, obviously. Okay. We'll come to that in a tick. Well, you tell me when you want to cast it, Gray.
When it was good. It's fine.
Okay.
That's before they leave, I guess.
All right, cool. So remind me if I don't touch on you, if I don't come back to you. Others, please.
Yeah, Tarquin will cast face shifting so he looks different, and he'll choose one of the sailors he's already used study on, but not the sailor he used before, so he'll just look like someone completely different.
So he had been using Gillian previously, so you're saying not Gillian, but for example, this man, your captain.
Jolly good.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay.
Any sailor who's not left the boat.
Yep, sure.
Yep.
Cool. Cool, and we'll come to... do you tell me when you want to make that roll too? Anybody else?
I think Mithan is fairly unassuming anyway.
She's 6'7".
In aside, with the things she can control. So I don't know. So, I mean, somebody could cast something on her. I mean, Pete, step in here if you think I'm doing this wrong, but you know, her clothes are unassuming anyway. She's fairly nondescript, aside from her height, I guess. I don't know if we'd necessarily need to change anything too much about her.
Okay.
Sorry, were you looking for something from me? I think, apart from the cloak, perhaps, Alex?
Which one's that, Pete? Sorry, I've got a leather coat.
No, sorry, because our friend Jackin's offering oilskins or other raincoats, and she might well benefit from one of those to cover up a bit more. I don't know.
Sure thing. She'll grab one if there's one available. She's also got her leather coat as well. Yeah, definitely. But in terms of her, like, I mean, what's she going to do about her height?
All right. Any other
preparations? My presumption is everyone's going to put on new clothing of some sort, aren't we? We're all going to put on these oilskins. We'll all look a bit different.
Well, the people who have said they will are going to. Yep.
We'll definitely take one.
Sure. Okay. Anything from Demos I should be aware of?
Demos will also take a cloak or a oilskin and cover up as much as he can.
Okay. All right. All right. So you've made suitable preparations. Tarquin, can you please cast any spells that you're wanting to cast, or anybody else for that matter? Probably, and Wingy as well.
Yep. 75.
Cool. So that was a success. And Grey?
53.
53 is also a success. So Tarquin, what happens with you, and what happens with you and Wingy, please, Grey?
So all that happens with Tarquin is his face changes to look exactly like this character.
Mm-hmm.
So that's face shifting. Obviously, he's wearing his new oilskins. He'll just look quite different.
Cool.
With Grey, he changes. He doesn't change. Sorry, doesn't change anything. He casts a spell and then he can talk to Wingy, and he says, "Follow behind, fly high, keep some distance, follow us."
Excellent.
Yep.
Lovely.
And then he gives her a little mouse.
Excellent. Oh, nummy nums.
And Nauthnal's rolled 84.
Oh, she did the same thing she did too, didn't she? Cool. Okay. And hang on, I'll give you a wee... Cool. So an hour, probably is a bit longer actually, about an hour and a half later, and those spells obviously take place as and when required. There is yet another knock on the door, and firstly, your friend comes in, He's a big guy, by the way, very, very big man, and he's led, and then he's leading this woman. She comes in. She's her head's kind of quite bowed. She walks not especially slowly, but not quickly either. She does walk with a stick. She comes in and she just takes you all in with her eyes. Your host, your soon-to-be former host, turns to you and says, "Ladies and gentlemen of the Champions of Ely, or the Bloody Headsman Band, if you prefer, or indeed the Assassins of Pyther, I have the great pleasure in introducing you to Myrna. Myrna will be assisting you from here." She doesn't say anything.
Well, Etienne will be effervescent herself and will bow low and greet her warmly. And introduce himself.
She smiles, a somewhat toothless grin, and just nods.
Great. And he'll sort of, direct her to the rest of the party, and this is us.
Yeah, they could greet her.
Ray would grunt, but not meet her eyes.
Okay.
Right.
Harkin's deeply suspicious. Looks like the same clothing as the Hera people.
Etienne will start, thanking Fat Santa, Doris, and they spent some good times together, I think. So he'd be back slapping if that's acceptable, and wish him well and thank him, and hope that they meet again and share a few more ales.
Well met indeed. Well met, friend Etienne. It has been a pleasure, a genuine pleasure. It's always good to enjoy your work, and I've enjoyed spending time with you too. Farewell, and keep your head. Farewell, he says to the rest of you. Just as he's kind of saying his farewells, this woman just looks around at you all very slowly. Which one's the dead one? Oh, there.
One on the floor.
Oh, yes. I brought a coffin.
Oh.
Shall I bring it in?
Why not?
She looks to your bearded friends, and a few minutes later, a very, very simple, very plain, very small, Keros is not big, pine woods coffin. Very, very basic construction is brought in, and then the sailors leave. You may come with me, Myrna. We're going on a walk.
Lovely. It's a delightful afternoon.
We're taking the long way around.
Understood. Yes, we'd like to remain out of sight as much as possible. Thank you.
Yes. Quietly. Cautiously, we will go.
Thank you. Great. Yes, thoroughly approve.
Good, good. We will go now?
I think we're all ready, yep. I think we're everyone ready?
Wait.
Everyone pack their lunches?
Good to go. What language does she speak?
Oh, I was going to say, thank you, just as Etienne was introducing himself. Thebronic. Does everybody understand her?
Yeah, my two do.
No.
Yep.
Demos does.
Demos does.
Life does.
Life does.
And no.
Okay. For the people that can't speak the language, both Grey and Mithan, pretty obvious that this person is taking you somewhere. The coffin is brought in. Any preparations I should need to know about before you set off? Nope. Okay.
I guess Tarkin want to make sure we've got as many provisions as possible. And our supplies are filled, arrows and the like, but I think we've already done that, haven't we, Chris?
100% I can't remember.
Well, I think we did as we set off when we. It was one of the things we got from the cave, wasn't it? It was a refill of ammunition, I think.
Refill of ammunition, yes. Food, no.
Food. Food. We've got. I think we've got a week's worth of rations, and obviously we've got the food in the room that we've been eating.
No, you've eaten the. Remember, we had this conversation with Twilight. You've got 3 days left of your preserved rations.
So I think we'd be looking to stock those up to as many as we can reasonably carry before we leave the boat.
Okay. I mean, there's been no shortage of decent food on the boat. It'll spoil within a few days, but it's enough. It's definitely enough for at least a week. Some sausages, some dried fish, and some more tasty things as well. Some hard cheese, which is probably going a little bit runny. But yeah, you stock up. The food probably won't keep in this weather for long, but you've got a bit of food. Anything else I should be aware of? Anything else? Any other preparations?
Yeah, what's happening with Victory?
Victory. Well, nothing's happened with Keros yet, so Victory's just sitting by her mistress.
We'll put Keros in the casket if that's all right.
Okay.
In terms of longbows and things, will they fit in the casket too?
No. Well, Keros, how tall are you?
Not very. I am... Oh. Sorry, I've got to go through everyone's character sheets because I've got everybody's character sheets. Height is... Oh no, that's Grey. I was going to say 6'2". Gosh, that's tall. That's Grey. Sorry, I've got everyone's character sheets here. I think she's only 5'2" from memory. She's only wee. But I'm just...
A composite bow might fit. At a pinch, I'm going to say a longbow is too big. And a spear, obviously not. I don't believe.
Alright, can we wrap any long weapons then in a... Ask our host, our ex-host, whether we can borrow a bit of cloth and wrap the weapons up, long weapons that can't be concealed, that might be a bit out of keeping to be walking through a city.
Okay.
I'll ask their advice to say, do you think we should cover these weapons, or do you think we're right to leave them?
Confirm she's 5'2", by the way.
5'2". Yeah, that's really short. So you asked your bearded host, and he doesn't say anything. He just turns and looks at Myrna. She pauses. She puts her head on her side. Then she puts her head on the other side. Looks up and down the weapons. Unusual to be walking with weapons of war.
Yes. Okay, we'll wrap them up then. If that's all right. It's okay to keep a sword, though. We think we've seen people. Tarquin, you've seen people with swords, right?
Yep. Short sword's fine. Longbows, chainmail, bit more dodgy.
All right. Based on that, then we'll wrap everything else up.
Excellent.
If that's what works for everyone.
Cool. Very good. Any other preparations other than those? One question. Who is picking up the casket, please?
Well, Etienne will offer on end.
Ray will offer.
Okay.
And Mithan.
Okay.
Tarquin will offer if needed, but he'll.
I was going to say,
won't.
Demos will too.
In which case, Tarquin will unoffer. Because
She's a popular lady, is our Kyros. Very good. Okay. Okay. And you head off the boats. Your host, yes, as I said, surprisingly, I'm going to say perhaps deceptively spry. Like she is actually walking faster off the boat than she certainly was in the cabin, and her, she's definitely a lot more limber than you thought she might be. But she heads off, and for the first time, starting with Demos at the front of the casket, your feet touch the grounds of Landaina. Proper. And Demos, I'd like you please to roll a channeling resistance roll.
Sorry, is it a D100?
Yep. Certainly is. And you're 8th level, I think.
Yes.
Cool.
13.
Okay, very good. Into your channel now. Bit of information. Next, please. I'm going to ask the same thing for Leif.
Oh, 84.
84. Okay. And you are what level? 7th?
8th level as well.
8th level as well. Okay, cool.
Channeling is plus 10.
Cool. Okay. So. Oh, of course, it's Mars, by the way.
Oh, right.
Hang on, have we been playing that? No, we haven't been playing Mast. We haven't been playing Mast on resistance rolls. Whoops. Maybe we should, but anyway, we haven't been, so we'll stick to that. A bit of information, Leif, into your channel. Next up, Neathanol.
Yeah. 59.
59. What's your against channeling, please?
Plus 5.
And you are 9th level?
10th. No, I'm 10th now. I've woken up 10th.
Hey! Well done. Cool. So, Neathanol, a bit of information for you. Coming into your channel now. Oops. Will be if the GM can control his keyboard. And then Nathan.
Oh, sorry. Um, 77.
Okay, cool. Interesting. I'm going to pop it both in Mithan's channel and into Keros's channel. So Keros, it's coming into your channel. And don't forget, we are in. If you haven't remembered, we're in the Hero channel, not the Twilight channel, and it's in both those channels now. Yeah. So your feet touch down on the ground of Landaina, the grounds of Karkin, this massive landmass to the south, proper. And you begin to set off through the streets of the city. And as you walk through, and this woman, by the way, to say she's comparatively, as I say, comparatively sprier than she looks would probably be a good description. You see on a couple of occasions she kind of ducks and weaves around a cart that's been that's kind of not running towards her, but was moving towards her at some pace that she kind of moved out of the way of quite easily, and she is sprier than she looks. A bit further away from the docks, and probably about 20 minutes into your journey, and by the way now, Tarquin, you've had some knowledge of the city before. You are now thoroughly lost. You don't know where you are. You certainly can't place any landmarks. Several things that you all notice, definitely away from the docks. There is definitely a bit more damage. Although Landaina is not a particularly tidy city, as you've picked up. You're definitely seeing the signs that in some areas the quake has been, seems to have affected some places definitely more severely than others. This, for example, is a street that you bypass, quite a major thoroughfare, and you can see in the distance there's quite a bit of smoke on the horizon from buildings which are burning some way off. Quite a bit of shouting, yelling, the occasional sound of breaking things. Moving a bit further on, you see some kind of distant crowds and some yelling in the distance. Again, your guide quite skillfully kind of moves you through ducking and weaving out of alleyways and moves on a bit further. You've been walking probably now for half to 3/4 of an hour, getting late in the afternoon. Again, you bypass the scenes of some more damage. Seems like this quake has definitely hit some parts of the city, reasonably severely, quite severely. And then kind of after this scene here, you turn a number of corners and you're definitely getting into, it's definitely quieter, less shouting and less noise, etc. It's still raining, of course it's raining. Oh, and of course there's no sounds. There's definitely no sounds of the bow wash. There we go. You've definitely moved into less salubrious parts, would probably be a good description. Parts of the city which are definitely more down at heel, definitely less grand buildings, definitely much less taller buildings. Myrna finally leads you through a number of alleyways and sometimes some slightly larger avenues. And finally she turns off into a very small, and when I say very small, I mean tiny, little cul-de-sac. It's surrounded on three sides by a high, about 2.5, 3-story high stone wall, which appears to have been perhaps part of some of the older defences of the city. You're not quite sure what. And there are nine houses down this little cul-de-sac. It's a dead end. A number of the houses are single story. Several of the houses are double story, and one of them, a very comparatively prominent house, and in slightly better order than the others, appears to be 3 stories. There's very few people on the streets. There's a couple of stray dogs. The sound of any crowds, etc., have faded into the distance. It's quite quiet here. And hang on, speaking of quiet. And Myrna leads you down and walks you down this little alleyway and stops outside the large house. The alleyway, by the way, looks like this. You've entered from down here, you've walked your way along, and you've come to this house here. Another view is that's coming into the area. Quite humble homes here, and this one that she's stopped outside is pretty. It's in better order than the others, as you can almost see from that image. But it's not in great condition. Parts of the roof look as though they're about to come in, you think, and there's kind of slime and grime and mold on the walls. It really doesn't look particularly nice. The whole area doesn't look very nice. Certainly quiet, you'll give it that. And Myrna takes out of her pocket a large key. Actually, she takes it out from around her neck. And she hasn't said anything, by the way, on the entire walk here. And she just walks up to the door. Door, by the way, looks reasonably newish, reasonably solid, pretty standard door. Puts the key in the lock, turns it, and then just welcomes you inside. And inside, you have a rather pleasant surprise. The outside and the what you've seen of this little alleyway, you really were fearing the worst for your accommodation, but actually inside, it's quite nice. I mean, there's not much here. There are a couple of tables, some chairs. There's a cooking area at the back. There's a flight of stairs going up. But it's clean. It's tidy. It's got a pleasant smell. Smells like it's recently been cleaned. And yeah, it's and there's a stove at the back, or a stove cooking fire area, and there's something bubbling on the stove. It smells pretty good. As you all come inside, Myrna turns and walks back to the door, puts the key in the lock, turns it to lock it, and then she takes out a second key, an identical key, and puts it on the table in front of you. She turns to you all. This is now your home.
Oh, Etienne will pick it up. Oh, thank you. It's very gracious of you. Thanks very much.
Good.
Parkland would talk to Ian and say, might want to check it works on the lock, bro.
Well, I actually want to keep talking to her, but would it is the run of the house ours? Will you be staying here as well, or anyone else?
Oh no. No. I live close, but not here. This place is yours.
Great. So, if we, how will we contact you if you're not here?
I will come twice a day, at dawn and at dusk each day. I will bring you food and good things to drink.
Thank you. That's very kind. What other exits are there from the house?
Oh, there's a back door. You can see it.
We can see it?
Yes.
And where does that lead?
Oh, she says she heads out and she walks to it, opens it up, and shows you. So the front door is this one you entered here. Walk up a short flight of stairs, and the back door leads out here, directly here.
And within that concrete wall, so
there's a small gap in between it. You can see it there.
Right, but there's no exit under. The whole place is hemmed in by concrete, essentially.
Not concrete, stone. Yeah.
Oh, stone. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Out of interest, what notice there are sort of walkways running across the roofs. What's all that about?
Friendly neighbours, maybe.
Very. Will you give us a guided tour then?
Yes. Yes.
Lovely. So Chris, really keen, particularly Neathanol, is really keen to memorise the entire house.
Yep.
And is looking for windows to get out of, and
Yeah.
particularly ones that face the back with that bit of concrete there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can see there are several on the ground floor. Maybe can you see there? No, you can't. There are 1, 2, couple on the other sides, couple around here, and couple downstairs. There at the very that room, that area there is a large open room, the second story, and then the top story is 3 rooms, an area off here, and then another one here, heading downstairs. In fact, hang on, what am I? Yeah, no, I can show you. It's probably a better way of describing. No, actually not. Probably easier not to. Yep. So there are definitely windows.
And one facing the back by the stone.
Potentially.
And what would the distance be there from the window to the stone wall?
Short, 10, 15 foot.
Okay.
I think I'll have to check. Actually, if you're that, actually maybe I can show you. Yeah. Just a second. Oops. Too many uploads. I don't know why that's there. Any other questions? Anybody else doing anything while Neathan's having a look around?
Gray's having a good sniff.
Okay.
And he'll call out to Wingy. Well, not call out, but he'll kind of gesture at Wingy if she can see him through one of the windows. Are they inside? I'm guessing.
Who inside?
Yeah, he'd gesture for Wingy to come back to him.
Okay. So yeah, Wingy. Sorry, what had he said to Wingy, by the way?
Just to follow behind from a distance so that people wouldn't notice her following them.
Okay. Okay, cool. There we go. Sorry, GM's just having some slight technical difficulties here.
Sam would want to call Leif aside.
Leif would go.
Sam would say, look, hey, don't know if it's anything, but when we came out of the in-between, what was it, a month ago, and I was marked on my hand now is starting to itch, and it's feeling really weird. I don't know if it's anything. I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but what do you think?
Yeah, Leif would nod along and say he was sort of expecting that. Jada recounted that she had the same experience, and Leif had an itchy palm for when he was marked as well. He suggests that we quietly, once we've got a bit of privacy from Myrna, we sort of share that with the rest of the group and just all check in. And yeah, he actually meant, I put it in the channel that he mentioned that to the person he was walking next to when we left the ship as well. Yeah,
perfect.
Nice one. We should check in with people. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
Just more checking, really. I think Nathan's quite keen to case the joint, to be honest, and look for areas that she can get out of.
Okay.
Also looking interesting in the distance between the window and the wall, and also looking for items of furniture that might be able to span it.
Okay, sure thing. So I can, yeah. So I should be able to assist with you providing a bit more information. Unfortunately, my map software just crashed. That's why I wasn't able to show you before. Yeah, here we go. Just about there. Nearly there. Nearly there. Yeah, here we go. Alright, so I can now take you on a guided tour, because my map's now working. That's great. Here we go. Here's the tour. Are we ready?
Yes.
Excellent. Go to the screen. So that's the view. The streets, and I'll just take you on some views I've set up before. Boom. That's where you enter. And so it's the house towering above you. That's the end of the alleyway. That's a purse that shouldn't be there. That you didn't see. Pretty squalid. What's that?
Is the ladder ours?
The ladder. Next doors.
Right.
It's that. View from above. First story. Oops. No. So this is the top story. Windows here. There are windows in the very top there. Very hard to get access to. The bedding, by the way, is upstairs. Through here is... I must feel like a real estate agent. Is more bedding. With beds on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4 beds. And they're a little bit nicer than that, but there are mattresses there. There is quite a high window there. And then if we head over here, I think if we go... I think it's number... By the power vested in me. There we go. It's the top story. And then if we go to the top of the stairs, and you head to, oh, so Daisy, and let's try that again. Top of the stairs, is this, what view is this? The first person. Yep. If we head downstairs, there are a number of windows here. You can see out of there, down the end of the alleyway, over to the opposing houses. And there's another window there. It's the one at the back, but it's going downstairs. Just to give you a view of here. So that's the second story. And from above, that's, well, we won't look above. And then if we go downstairs, there is the door to the outside. There is a door there, obviously. Whoops. Which heads out to the alleyway outside.
What's that distance there between the wall and the house?
Yep. It is from, what, here to here? That's 10 foot.
Okay.
Distance to the foot of the stairs, 20 foot. And then inside, and there you all are. And then to, if we do this, that's the, that's where you're sleeping. if we go down one more, the beds, etc., are from the floor above, and the table above, and that's the layout of the bottom floor. So the kitchen area is there, door that you came in, back door there. Is that helpful?
Yeah, I just wants to know on what floor is there a window from the back of the house to the wall?
I think the conclusion is there isn't.
There isn't one.
Actually, there is there.
Third floor.
Third floor.
Okay, is that window, Chris, is that a jump up, a jump down, a jump across?
Let's have a look.
Tarquin's going to be equally interested.
So that there, yeah, that there's a window there. It's high up. It's here. So it would require getting up. And it's actually it's in the stairwell. So you can see there's where you would walk downstairs, and the window itself is here.
Okay.
And was there any pull yourself up and jump across that gap? That's a doable proposition, right?
No, you'd probably need more than a pull up, you think. See if we can grab a character. We do that. Take Leif, for argument's sake. Admittedly, Leif is downstairs, but even if Leif was upstairs, he's still some way down. You'd need some way of getting up to that window.
And was there any items of furniture in there that would make the divide? You can go from the windowsill to the wall.
Items of furniture, no. Oh, maybe. Actually, take that back. Maybe on the ground floor? Yeah.
Table.
You could take that table. You'd have to smash it to... Oh, actually, maybe that kitchen table would probably do it. Just. Like, just. Okay. Any other questions from anybody else?
There's no access to the roof? No internal ladder going up to the roof, I assume?
None.
There was a window that went, you could get out onto the slope.
Nope.
I thought I saw from the inside, but...
What do you do?
I think Niatha would ask, does the lady have a ladder?
I can ask the neighbours if I can borrow one.
Do you mind?
No.
Thanks very much, that's really helpful.
I don't mind.
Great, thanks. Oh, you mean I ask the neighbours or you ask the neighbours?
Oh, I will ask.
Oh, thank you. No, that's great. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll ask.
Some money, some incentive. We could buy a ladder.
Oh, do we need to buy the ladder?
No.
No? Oh, okay. Oh, that's amazing. Thanks very much. So what's... I guess, would you have a moment just to talk about our plans?
Yes.
So I guess Etienne would explain what we explained before, just to save time. And that we want to seek some healing in a faraway place for our friend and then come back.
Elves?
Well, potentially, although if she had any other recommendations, we'd certainly listen to them, but that was one idea we had. But essentially to go away for a couple of days and then come back.
And The Dead City? I was told you wanted to go to the Dead City.
Yes, but I understand we're not going yet, so we were wondering whether we could fit in a trip to a place far away that we can heal our friend, because we're unable to heal her here. And then return and go to the Dead City.
So no Dead City?
Yes, Dead City afterwards.
Elves, then Dead City?
Yes.
Ah. Yes.
Amazing.
Elves,
How long
elves are hard, though.
Well, no, okay. If it takes too much time...
They're suspicious folk.
Yeah, true. Okay, do you know of a city that we might be a big city that where we get healing where there are a few Roldenic people?
Ely.
Really? Ely? Hang on, the Trials of Ely. Yeah, I think we might be recognised there. We're hoping to go somewhere we wouldn't be recognised.
I don't know who you are. I don't know where you've been.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Anywhere further afield that isn't Ely?
Healing.
Yes. We've been to all the places in the city for healing, and they're not able to help our friend in the casket. So it forces us to go further afield. But we wish to go somewhere where there are fewer Roldenic people.
Help your friend in the casket. Your friend in the casket is dead.
Yes, we wish to raise her from the dead.
Are you necromancers?
No, but we're hoping to meet some.
Oh. 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 Oops, a daisy. That wasn't meant to happen.
Is that healing?
Is that healing? Yes, quite. Push the wrong button. She looks thoughtful. So you don't like Ely?
We are known in Ely, unfortunately.
So where are you not known?
Outside the Sea of Cantana.
No. Elvanatar? Thamazul?
What do you think, people?
You are northerners, though, and maybe that may cause an issue. Maybe.
Arkun would be sitting back and just listening.
Ray doesn't understand, so he's just patting the bird.
So that's
Would he not actually though? Would he recognise the place names? Maybe. I wonder if he would. Maybe not.
Maybe. Possibly.
He knows one. He would probably say, that one. Otherwise, he'd just be happy patting the bird.
You could go to Bansheba.
Where's that?
Your character would know Bansheba. Bansheba is... everybody knows Bansheba. Everybody in the world. They say when you tire of Bansheba, you tire of life. Bansheba is here. It's right next to... it's up, down from Manfanfar. Manfanfar is the holy seat of where the God King, the head of the Roldenic Church, sits. Bansheba itself is the greatest of all pre-cities. 100 miles enclosed walls north, 100 miles enclosed walls south, and everything and anything and everything good and everything bad in the world is in Bansheba. It is, by all accounts, the most intoxicating, the most beautiful, at times the most dangerous, brutal and ruthless place in the entire world. People would speak about it in hushed terms. People would describe the fashions of Bansheeba or the barbarism of Bansheeba. It is the penultimate free city. The free city beyond all free cities in this world. All manner of religions are there. Proximity to the seat of Roldan, where the God King himself sits, does mean there are quite a few Roldanic people there, however.
Let's not do that one then.
Wonder about Ionia in the Sea of Thibron.
One of the 3 free cities, perhaps. Yeah, Ionia or Jebai Expas.
Yes.
Yes.
Tarkov would definitely vote for the city before. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, but we
And
don't
I
want
think we need to go somewhere, where we can get this done before we move on.
we don't want to be recognised though. That's. So what about this other place?
Jebai Expas is one of the richest free cities in the entire world. If you seek healing, she says in her very slow, deliberate pace, all the wealth of the Persanians has come through Jebai Expas. They say it rains gold in Jebai Expas. And I don't know of the healing there, but I'm sure if it rains gold, I'm sure you can find what you seek, if you can afford it.
And what is the faith there?
I don't know. I've barely left the Sea of Cantana myself. There's the Roldanic, Holy Roldanic states, the Crusader states to the north. But there, I'm not sure. I can make some inquiries if you wish.
Thank you, that'd be really useful.
And perhaps for Ionia as well, which is to the south, if possible.
Sure. Yeah. Is any... Yeah, okay. Yep.
So yeah, can we inquire about the Elven Nation and those 2 free cities in the 7 Seas?
Certainly, she says.
Right.
Fantastic.
Good.
Actually, Leif would, I suppose, chime in again and would say, we would just want to be clear that we had asked through Jackin that she organise an expedition for us to Taraknev.
Who is Jackin?
Well, sorry, through the man, our contact, Fat Santa.
Who is Fat Santa?
The man on the boat. Our contact.
Yes, yeah. Yes. He said to me that, and I thought you were going to the Dead City, and I have already started to make some tentative inquiries.
Very good, thank you. We still intend to go there once we have gone to the Healing City and return. So if your arrangements to whichever city we decide to go to include 3 days in that city, 4 days perhaps, or a flexible amount of days and then a return here, that would be ideal. Another thought, and we had this as information from friends, was that another route to the Dead City, perhaps a faster route, would be by way of Navigator Stone. That there's a Navigator column 5 days from the port of Vestilis is information we have. If she can incorporate that into her planning, we want a combination of safe and a balance of safe and fast ways of getting to Taraknev.
I know nothing of the Dead City, nor do I wish to know. What I will do is I will find you guides who have been, and I will introduce them to you.
Excellent. Thank you.
They will be the people I pass to.
When you contact them, can you mention that is another possibility we'd like them to know about, for our transport there. We're not saying we know. Yeah, we will take their guidance on what is best. Thank you.
So, you will go to a place, you will spend some time in that place, and then you will come back here. I don't think it will be within 3 days, because it will take time, it may take time for whoever it is that meets you at the place to arrange your transport and other things here, to come back here, but you'll then come back here, and then you go to the City of the Damned. Yes?
Correct. And at some point we'll meet people to talk about arrangements to the Damned.
Yes.
Either before we go or after we come back.
Yes. Likely after you come back, but perhaps before you go. I have already spoken to one man. His name is Pashket. And he has been. Not to the city, of course. No one goes there. But I have spoken briefly to Pashket.
Marvellous. That's very helpful. Thank you.
One additional piece of information that might be useful to us when you're having discussions with guides who know their way through to the city is if they have heard of any other parties that have sought guidance there themselves from these people.
She nods.
Very good.
She looks around. Will you be comfortable here? Is there anything else you require? With this key, you may come and go. This place is at your disposal. Dawn and dusk, I shall return.
Fantastic. Or I'll see you then.
So Tarquin will take the key and stroll over the door and make sure it works in the lock.
It does. It's got a very satisfying click.
I think probably turn it upside down and give it to Etienne after checking it.
Okay.
And is are the windows barable, or I mean, do they have shutters, or?
Shutters and glass. Yep. No, probably not actually. Just curtains and glass. So reasonably, it gives the appearance of being a poor house on the outside.
Okay.
What do you do?
Well, after has she gone?
No, she's kind of waiting. She's kind of got that. She's turned her head again on one side and is kind of looking at you.
Right. Do we need anything else, people?
Leif would ask her if we need your help between dawn and dusk. What should we do? Is there a place we could go to meet you, to leave a message for you?
Yeah.
Thank you. And Leif would thank her very much for all of her work and the accommodation, and would be, shows gratitude and be complimentary of the everything. And, yeah, be grateful.
Again, gives that kind of toothless, semi-toothless grin, and nods.
Right. Is she going to get the ladder now?
I need something to act on. So what are you doing?
Well, yeah, Etienne said, well, actually, yes, we would love a ladder. Just before bed. If that wasn't too much trouble. Otherwise, we'll see you in the morning. Thank you.
I'll see if the neighbours are home.
Thank you.
She heads out the door. She walks over to the next house.
So Janet and Colin are in.
There's some low muttering, and she comes back, opens the door. Yes, you may take it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Has she got it with her?
No, it's outside.
No. All right. Well, they'll go and get the ladder. Disguised, obviously, still. And bring it. Can we bring it indoors?
Can you bring the ladder indoors? It's a pretty long ladder. But yeah, it looks like you can.
Great.
Yep. Yep, it'll fit.
Okay. So Ethel's now going to spend her time figuring out where this ladder can go and whether we can be laid out of windows onto adjacent buildings and/or walls.
Okay. Anything else to your hosts, by the way? Does either Mithan, Grey, Demos say do anything? Don't have to, guys.
No,
just
he's just happy to go along. He's just happy to go along.
Okay.
Demos would say thank you.
Okay. Okay. She nods, and you expect her to kind of shuffle off. You'd think she would shuffle off. She kind of looks like the person that would shuffle off. She doesn't. She quite stride, but she moves off reasonably quickly down the alleyway.
Okay. So Etienne, sorry, Miathel's quite keen just to establish a way out of the house with a ladder, should we need to.
Using that ladder, you could probably get up onto up to that window.
Yes.
You can get up to that window. And then using that table, you could get across to the wall.
Great. Well, when it's dark, she might arrange that with the help of some burly people.
It's now dark.
That was quick.
Leif will be happy to help.
Yeah, Gray's happy to be burly.
But he's interested. Yep.
Okay.
Demos would also help.
Okay. So, just... out, so...
Oops. Something to do.
Oh, damn it. Chucking people everywhere. So ladder up here, I mean, it'd be awkward, and it would definitely require some movement, some climbing? No, maneuvering. Yep. Yeah, climbing to get up the ladder, because it is precariously balanced on the stairs. It's not, as you can see, you'll be putting it on the stairs themselves, so it's not an easy climb. You don't want to rock it. Hang on. No. Yep. And then you'd be propping the table across. But yeah, you can set it up so it's relatively ready to go.
Great. Yeah, obviously put something under the ladder so it's more secure.
Best you can.
There's a box also. Health.
Okay.
Great.
Anything else you do? Anything else I should be aware of?
I suppose we'll eat at some point, but I think that we camp out on the top floor and secure downstairs, draw curtains, bar doors, lock doors, and post them. Not being paranoid, but post people to watch out the windows.
I wonder whether
top floor you can't see out the window unless you got something of substance to put up there and stand on it. Certainly on the second floor you can see out quite easily. In fact, the second floor from... how about this? Oops, no camera attached. Yes, there is a camera attached. No. Anyway. Did attach... ah, that's what it was. You can see out that window quite easily from upstairs. Or that window.
Well, I think Tark would want to go and introduce himself to the neighbours.
Okay. Yeah, what do you do?
I'd tell my colleagues I'm going to go and introduce myself to the neighbours, particularly the ones where there are the bridges across the roofs. And I just want to get a feel for what I think of them.
Okay.
And I'd tell them I'm not very comfortable being here.
Okay.
And I'd go and do exactly that. Go knock on the door and see who answers.
Cool.
Oh, by the way, I'd ask if anyone would want to come, Chris. I'd prefer to have a companion with me.
Sure.
And I'd probably look at the big dudes. It's so Tarquin's done some adventuring with a couple of big guys. He trusts them.
Okay.
Maybe Demos.
Okay. Which house do you go to first?
I'd leave. I'd go left. I'd start left and work my way down and across and around. Yeah.
Okay.
Does anyone want to come before I go?
Leif would see if Gray would volunteer, again because he's less known than the Hero Party would be if Leif was within earshot of that conversation.
Yep, Gray would go. He would be interested in sniffing them out. He probably wouldn't talk, but he'd be there.
Okay. This shack here, and it is pretty dismal shack. The door is opened by a massively obese man. He would be probably very late 50s, early 60s. His personal hygiene is not great. And he doesn't look particularly pleased at being disturbed. He stares at Tarquin.
Damn it. I guess I'd turn on all my charm and into a bonnet would say, "Welcome, friend. We've just arrived. Where I come from, it's a courtesy to say hello to your neighbours. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. How are you?"
Okay. He slams the door in your face.
Okay. I'd work my way around. I'd move on to the next one, so I'm pretty suspicious of him.
Okay. This one here, no one comes to the door. The place is boarded up completely.
Okay, in which case I'd ask, who am I with? Demos?
Gray. Yeah, Gray would be keen to have a look in. Is there any windows?
Yes. Yeah, there are some windows, but they're all curtained off.
I'd look at him and say, maybe we need to have a look around.
Think there might be some light inside, maybe. Can't tell. Maybe some candlelight? Certainly no one's come to the door when you've knocked.
I'd suggest to Demos we give the door a nudge and see if it opens.
Doesn't open.
Well, I haven't nudged it. I've asked Demos if he wants to give it a nudge.
Yeah. Nudge.
And I guess if it doesn't open, I'd nudge it harder.
You hear someone yell out. You hear someone yell out, "Who is that?" from within.
I guess I'd look at Demos and yell back, "We just arrived, who are you?"
Something breaks inside. It sounds like a glass.
I'm going to turn to Demos and say, "What do you think?"
What do we reckon? He'd have a big sniff, see if he can smell anything, any blood or anything like that.
Give me a roll.
Yep. Wait a second. $43.
Cool. What's his perception, please?
38.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it doesn't smell great down here to begin with. I mean, the city doesn't smell great, to be fair. Can't smell. You can't smell anything particular. There's nothing that that stands out to you as being unusual or different or particularly unpleasant any more than the rest of it is.
You'd relay that.
Is there any way to get a better peek in other than to, I'm not that keen to bust the door down. The windows are closed, but I think I turned to Demis and say I'm worried about the fact this guy has a path directly to the house we're staying in.
Yeah. I'm just having a look at some spells. Oh, we don't have necklace. Man. I need one of those little orbs of light that can see things. Is there any little? Apart from Wingy, is there any other little birds around, or can we see any kind of animals at all?
No. Give me a perception roll, please.
Okay. 49.
Cool. What's a skill again?
His perception?
Mm-hmm.
38.
Yeah. Around here, you just see several rats scuttle this way. One of them you think might have had a bird in its mouth.
Okay. Gray would like to. He'd love to cast Animal Mastery on one of the rats.
Okay. Give me a roll, please.
He's gesticulating and making some noises, and he rolls a 59.
59. That spell is successful. Just a sec.
Are we hearing this noise?
Yeah, it's definitely getting louder.
So Chris, I think I'd use a perception roll to look to see if I could figure out what this is all about. And I see it sounds like an angry mob to me.
Yeah.
Or anything that suggests there's an angry mob around?
Get back in the house, I reckon. Do we hear it in the house?
Oh, yes.
Okay, Nathan will come back out and say to the others, get back in the house, let's barricade.
Alright.
That spell was successful, Grey. You now have control of a rat. What do you do?
Cool. Well, before they shoot into the house, he'd like to send that rat up into that house to have a look around.
Okay.
And then once it's had a look around, if it's not dead, he'd like it to come back to their house to where he is.
Okay. Sure thing.
I think Tarquin would take Nathaniel's advice and suggest to Demos they retreat back into the house at the same time.
And then we'd like to barricade, as soon as they're in, we'll barricade the front door with something heavy.
Okay.
And take as many precautions with the windows as we can by lifting furniture up. Barricade those if possible.
Okay.
I don't know how many windows there are down there.
I'll show you in just a sec.
Etienne will put his armour on. And he'll get his weapons.
Cool. Any other actions from others I should be aware of?
We've seen no crowd, have we, Chris?
No.
Hear the noise, nothing to see. The Tarquin would look hard to see if he can see anything inside the confines of the stones before we board things up. Well, we can't.
Well, let's look out the windows, huh? So, yeah, we look out the windows?
Yeah, no, that's insensible.
Yeah, any
Leif
other
would go.
Any other actions?
Leif would go to Nathaniel and see if she wanted him to cast Fly on her at some point if we wanted her to go and scout.
Sure, happy to. She'll cast invisibility on herself first, after 4 rounds.
And right about now, you guys see looking out the windows this. So peering upstairs from the upstairs window. Looking down here, there are figures racing and running in between the houses, throwing things, smashing things, and attacking the houses. This is what you see. Not that. Angry people, violent people, armed people, unarmed people, smashing people, hitting, biting, crushing, attacking, burning. And they're coming straight down this alleyway. I'm now going to go into rounds. No, I'm not going to go into rounds. That is where we're going to end the session for tonight. There we go, guys. Welcome back to Ain't No Place for a Hero.
Or someone who likes.
Oh, I recognise that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, the tower.
I want to go
Sorry,
there.
John.
That's cool.
Made that in, you recognise that, Graham?
Near as damn it, yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad, yeah.
So that's the Sears Tower where
That's
we
right.
had some adventures.
That's absolutely right. There we go, guys. We're going to leave it there for tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, welcome back, Mason and Aiden. A very, very hearty hero welcome to you.
Thank you.
Woohoo!
It's fun.
Fun.
More fun.
Lovely. Oh, good night all. Thanks, Chris. That was great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.